Masking in Photoshop is so easy. You're gonna feel like you know masking inside and out when you're done with this. I'm gonna show you 2 ways you can do it. It's quick, to the point, and we're gonna dive right into Photoshop. So here I have 2 example images. I have a cup of coffee or tea. It's labeled tea, but it looks like coffee. And then waves. I found this example. I think I saw it in an ad, but we're gonna recreate it. So what you're gonna do, I'm gonna actually size this bad boy. Okay, so once you position your top layer the way you want it, you're going to create a mask. Your mask is gonna be the 3rd button from the left. So it even says add layer mask when you hover your mouse over it. So we're gonna click on that, but make sure your top layer is highlighted. So you can see now that you have this little white box right next to your top layer. So I have my brush tool and I just picked a normal circle brush just to keep it easy. You can adjust the size of your brush by either using the brackets on your keyboard or going up to the left or by going up here and adjusting it manually. Now I just want to get the general idea. The idea is that I want the waves to replace the coffee in the cup. So you want to make sure your color is black because what it's going to do is going to erase parts of the layer. Now an easy way you can do this is clicking on your layer and bringing down the opacity slightly so you can get a better idea of where the coffee is in relation to the waves. Before any painting to erase your layer, you want to make sure that mask is clicked on and highlighted because what that's going to do is actually going to draw on that mask. Again, make sure your brush is black and you can start erasing. It's pretty simple. Again, the size and the hardness of your brush is based off preference and what your layers are. So I'm just gonna do this really quick. Now because I really want to start getting those fine details, I'm gonna bring my brush size down just a little bit. I'm gonna bring down the opacity again just a little more so I can see what I'm doing. And make sure when you bring down the opacity, you're clicking on the picture itself and not the layer mask. Now let's say you went a little overboard like I did here. You erased too much, but you don't want to quite undo it. You just want to fix a little mistake. What you're going to do is that you're going to draw back in the white of the original mask. So how you're going to do that is either you can hit X on your keyboard or you can hit this little arrow on the top to the right of the little swatches, and that's going to change your paintbrush to white. And what this white is going to do is going to allow you to draw back in that layer. Now that is going to answer some of your guys' questions on why don't I just use an eraser. An eraser is not going to let you draw back in that layer if you were to accidentally erase something that you wanted back. Now once I think I'm done with outlining my mask, I can bump that opacity back up. You can see that you masked the water into the cup. Now a lot of it, obviously this picture doesn't look natural. And that's more into what else Photoshop can do. This isn't really a Photoshop tutorial on how to Photoshop objects together. I'm just showing you the basics of the mask. But you can see that you can adjust the opacity how you want. You can add different layers to it. You can go back. You can see, I kind of don't like how rough this is looking over here. Now I told you you can do this 2 ways. And I'm going to show you the other way you can do this. Now the other way you can do this for this specific scenario is probably a little easier. And when I mean specific scenario, I mean that you can see exactly what you want to mask. For this specific scenario, I probably would have chosen this option. So what you're going to do is just hold down Option on your keyboard and then click that same button. What it is going to do is inverse your mask. So you can see here my mask is now black and not white. Like I said earlier, when you are painting your brush on that mask, to erase your layer, you want that brush to be black. And to reveal your layer, you want that brush to be white. Now inversing is making that whole mask black, which means that that's erasing your whole layer. To reveal it in specific spots that you might want, you're gonna start with your white brush and you're gonna do the exact same, but you're just gonna reveal it. And in this case, to erase, you want your brush to be black. So it's not perfect, but you can see that it's the exact same thing. I feel like it's a little easier because you can be more precise and it's probably a little faster. But just keep this in mind, it's super simple. Whatever the color of your mask is, the color of your brush needs to match that to erase and be the opposite to draw. So that's basically it to masking. It's so simple. Now, personally, if I was really like trying to Photoshop this and merge this into something, I would go and add layers for coloring, or I'd probably bring down the opacity a little bit so it's not too harsh. So I know this isn't like a final product, but this is just a good illustration on what masking is. Masking you can do for anything to combine any parts of any pictures or any layers. The possibilities are endless. So that is masking. I hope you found this tutorial helpful, and I will catch you guys in my next one.